a major criminal like Ghislane Maxwell, it's right there. It's open corruption. They're dabbing on us, okay? They are dabbing on us. They're saying, you, what are you going to do about it? They're flexing. Ghislane Maxwell just gave the DOJ info on 100 different people, according to her lawyer. Wee woo, wee woo. So this is just immunity within the discovery process. But I feel like there are additional immunities that are on the pipeline. Donald Trump earlier today actually said, I have the power to pardon her if I want to. This is what Charlie Kirk wanted. Charlie Kirk proposes offering Ghislane Maxwell something in exchange for the testimony regarding Epstein. Maxwell is currently sentenced to 20 years in federal prison for sex trafficking, but is pursuing a claim that her trial was unfair. Maybe some kind of deal could be reached for information. Oh my God. Oh my God. They are literally going to cook the books. Oh my God. Guys, Ghislane Maxwell wasn't just a criminal party to the conspiracy to traffic minors. She also was an assaulter of minors herself, according to victim testimony. Okay, witness testimony as well, but victim testimony. Okay. She was doing the things. She was right there with Jeffrey Epstein doing the same crimes as Jeffrey Epstein. The fact that this administration, who's supposed to be anti-pedophilia, is now going to give her a sentence commutation in exchange for whatever kind of information that she's going to be giving them that is favorable to the administration's side, while simultaneously they refuse to reveal what the discovery showed, what the investigations into all of the financial dealings between Jeffrey Epstein, Ghislane Maxwell, and numerous other third parties. The fact that they are actively sheltering the public from knowing who the other co-conspirators were, while simultaneously leaving it up to an famously unreliable orator who herself has perjured on numerous occasions to defend other co-conspirators like Prince Andrews, and even perjured to defend herself, to lie to defend herself, and then famously got convicted anyway, in spite of her perjury, is crazy. This is Newsmax has begun referring to Ghislane Maxwell as a victim. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. It's happening. It's already happening.
Now, Ghislane Maxwell's lawyer has confirmed they are in discussions with the federal government about holding discussions. Maxwell is currently sentenced to 20 years in federal prison for sex trafficking, but is pursuing a claim that her trial was unfair. Since she is still contesting her own case, that may impact what she is ready to tell prosecutors. But maybe some kind of a deal could be reached for information. We will see. Now, Ghislane Maxwell's lawyer has confirmed they are in discussions with the federal government about holding discussions. Maxwell is currently sentenced to 20.
What the holy shit. Yeah, everyone's a victim. Ghislane Maxwell is the ringleader. What are we talking about? She was the second in command in the sex trafficking operation. What are we talking about? It's wild to me that this administration simultaneously keeps saying like every undocumented migrant is like a file that needs to be forcibly excised from the land and sent to a concentration camp surrounded by alligators. Okay. Meanwhile, you have one of the most notorious sex traffickers who's in prison, and they're like, we should release her because her testimony will be favorable to our side. I know that a lot of people don't care about hypocrisy. No one really cares about hypocrisy, but this is like this might perhaps be a bridge too far. You know? I feel like this is definitely like, this is, potentially releasing a sex trafficker while simultaneously calling her a victim is definitely a bridge too far, man. What are we doing here? What the hell is going on?
Been subpoenaed by the Oversight Committee. I think this is great. I do have a feeling that she just might be a victim. She just might be. There was a rush to judgment. There was a lot of chaos there for a while. All right, granted, she hung out with Jeffrey Epstein, and I know that's apparently not good, but she's in jail.
Apparently that's not good. She's a victim. she might be a victim. If Ghislane Maxwell is a victim, even though she was convicted for sex trafficking minors, procuring minors for sex trafficking, and also participating in the acts herself, in the criminal acts herself, if she is a victim, who is the perpetrator? They're dabbing on us, folks? Oh no, for sure. This is 100%. They are. At this point, is pretty obvious. It's like, if you are incredibly wealthy, if you're a wealthy elite, if you're a socialite, the media, or at least the right wing as it stands currently, will do everything in their power to liberate you. Yeah, the child victims are obviously the ones that we need to jail. Yeah. What incentive do news media or right-wing influencers have running cover? Oh, by the way, Open Presence with another 100 gifted subs. Thank you so much. And Kane the Salt Lord, thank you for the 10 gifted subs as well. What incentive do news media or right-wing influencers have running cover for Maxwell or Trump at this point? Is it just to say that Trump? Is it just to say on Trump's good side because they think he's invincible? Are they not if the base does not end up turning on him? The incentive here is clear. Donald Trump wants to pack this up, okay? And he realizes that there's blood in the water, and a lot of people are very angry and resentful in his own base of support for refusing to refusing to reveal some of this information. And now they're asking questions about how much Trump was involved with Jeffrey Epstein. So considering that there is plenty of financial dealings and plenty of ties that the Trump administration would not want to be revealed because they want to protect societal elites, regardless of party politics. They most likely are looking for an out here, okay? They're looking for an out for Trump. And it's clear to me that through the pardoning or sentence commutation process, Ghislane Maxwell will very clearly play ball with the admin and offer them that out. Especially because there's nothing to check Ghislane's testimony against. Because we don't have access. We're not privy to this information that was discovered in the process of her conviction. That's the reason why people want this information to be out there. Do you understand? So if she is the only sole surviving person that can offer testimony to who she and Jeffrey Epstein were involved with, and we don't have any access, and they will never release the materials that actually, expand on that, the materials that they could use to check her testimony against, then she is the primary narrator here to her own criminal behavior. And because she has an incentive to lie and to defend Donald Trump here very clearly, she's going to take this opportunity to say whatever Trump wants. Yeah, when they pardon the British lady after she says George Soros and the Bill Clinton were main clients, I don't think MAGA is going to move on. Egg prices are going to explode, and they're going to loop it all back to Comet Pizza. They're going to get her to say the only people involved with Epstein were the Clintons and Bill Gates. Trump wasn't involved, and in exchange she'll be commuted or pardoned, and Trump will be absolved among his base. I don't think so. I think there will be definitely more people in Trump's base that will be on board with this now, because it's like they desperately want to hang on to anything that makes Trump look good here. There is that sense of desperation that's setting in, especially right now when Trump actively keeps saying, shut up about Jeffrey Epstein, don't talk about it. And these guys are like, but please, sir, give us something. Like the Alex Joneses of the world are like, please give us something. What are you saying? What the are you doing? Why do you keep calling us idiots for caring about this thing that you said we should care about? It's making me kind of feel like you might have been while dealing with Jeffrey Epstein yourself, right? I don't think I think that there will be a larger number of people in his base that will buy it, but I don't think everyone will buy it. I think this will continue.
Would you consider a pardon or a commutation for Ghislane Maxwell if
It's something I haven't thought about. It's really something. It's something I'm allowed to do it, but it's something I have not thought about.
But you wouldn't rule it out, sir?
Why has the dollar?
He literally said he's like, I'm allowed to do it. I could pardon her if I want to.
For Ghislane Maxwell,
It's something I haven't thought about. It's really something. It's something I'm allowed to do it, but it's something I have not thought about.
I'm allowed to do it. I haven't thought about it. He has thought about it. In your estimation, how does this end? I mean, there are numerous different ways that this could go. I think that Ghislane Maxwell comes out and basically gives like a couple random, irrelevant, powerless people ultimately as like major players, presents them as like major power players, right? I suspect that it'll be heavily ideologically slanted in Trump's favor, you know, like Democrats, only Democrats, or maybe dead ones, right? Like you can throw a lot of allegations in the way of the dead. Some of them will be real clients as well, for sure, right? And then, you know, maybe some rhinos, something like that. Yeah, his new strategy is to say, look at Bill Clinton or the president of Harvard, which, by the way, Bill Clinton is involved. So there will be some real people that actually did get involved with Jeffrey Epstein, okay? So you'll see that. But the real reason as to why Ghislane Maxwell will offer this testimony is to basically absolve Donald Trump of wrongdoing. Because like that's the only thing he cares about. So I think that's what's going to happen here. Look, Trump on Epstein. You should focus on Clinton. You should focus on the president of Harvard, the former president of Harvard. You guys should focus on some of the hedge fund guys. I'll give you a list. These guys live with Jeffrey Epstein. I sure as hell didn't.
Who's eager to get out of prison.
Well, you know, he's a professional lawyer. I think he's been.
Yeah, unlike you, those guys are keeping quiet because they know their level of involvement, which is high. But you are the one who is the president. And you are the one who literally said there was no list and then said, oh, the list is actually a Democrat hoax. And now you're saying there is a list. Now that Ghislane Maxwell is ready to compromise some people, all of a sudden there's a list again? You're just giving up names from this list? Which, by the way, he's not even wrong. Because as I've said time and time again from the beginning of this story, pedophilia is a bipartisan endeavor amongst the elite, okay? It is not like a Republican or Democrat issue. It is objectively bipartisan. Do you understand? Yeah, it's uniparty. It's like defending Israel's uniparty, constantly finding more money in the couch cushions for the military's uniparty, and of course, the pedophilic acts is bipartisan and uniparty amongst our elite. So, or sex crimes in general. But doesn't this go back to the mutually assured destruction? If he snitches, they will take him down with them. We'll see. That's why I think it won't be like anyone super significant. There are two competing interests here. Not conflicting, but competing interests here. Trump wants something that has meat. Okay? Trump wants a name that the base will laser in on, you know, something that holds weight, like a Bill Clinton. Okay. But also, if you go after someone like Bill Clinton and he holds the cards here, he knows the secrets, he can then turn around and counter nuke, right? As I've said from the start, it's mutually assured file destruction. So if Trump releases a nuclear alt against someone like Bill Clinton or Bill Gates, then they can turn around and launch it themselves to be like, I saw you at the party. You know what I mean? These guys are very incompetent. Remember that. The Trump administration is incredibly incompetent, which means there's still an opportunity for them to this up. So even if they desperately try and try to create like a narrative that will at least like soothe the interests of the masses, the MAGA base, there is a very high likelihood that they can still on the delivery side and make this an even larger story. So I'm banking on that, as a matter of fact. I think that will be a major part of this.
Things like this before, but you know, you should focus on Clinton. You should focus on the president of Harvard, the former president of Harvard. You should focus on some of the hedge fund guys. I'll give you a list. These guys lived with Jeffrey Epstein. I sure as hell didn't. Thank you very much.
Mr. President, should not be part of the president.
I sure as hell didn't live with Jeffrey Epstein. I simply sent him beautiful letters. Beautiful letters. We share secrets. Many secrets. Ooh, mystery. Pro Fox camera work here. Pro camera work from Fox here. Trump can't keep up with his lies. Ooh, I love this. I love this when he says like dumb shit. Trump, July 15th, a very quick briefing. Yeah. Trump, July 25th. No, I was never briefed. No.
The Attorney General briefed you on the DOJ and FBI review, the findings of that review. The Attorney General briefed you on that.
what? On the
DOJ and FBI
on what?
review.
On what subject?
Epstein.
Okay.
On Epstein, of the review of the files. Attorney General Pam Bondi.
A very
briefed you on that.
very quick briefing.
Did she? Mr. President, were you briefed on your name appearing in the Epstein files ever?
No, I was never briefed. No.
Did you ask House? On Epstein, the Attorney General briefed you on the DOJ and FBI review, the findings of that review. The Attorney
New Trump Epstein photo just dropped. This one featuring James Brown via New York Times. God damn. Is the Trump presidency like the one might's power transferred only instead of superpower? It's Alzheimer of the Biden kind. All presidency is like all might's power. It's just everyone is Brandonized going forward. Brandon was the original, and he is now transferring the presidential seat with all of the accompanying problems. r/conspiracy going feral over the Epstein stuff. I mean, come on. Of course they're going feral over it. James Brown said the CIA spied on him. The CIA won't say. What? I wonder what happened there.
This morning, Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche has more questions for Jeffrey Epstein's former companion, Ghislane Maxwell.
Do you have anything to say today?
Sources told ABC News Maxwell initiated the meeting as she appeals her conviction and tries to get out of a 20-year prison sentence. Her attorney told us she answered every question.
What kind of questions, Chris?
Well, we don't want to get into the substance of the questions. There were a lot of questions, and we went all day, and she answered every one of them. She never just said, I'm not going to answer, never declined.
It's almost unheard of for a convicted sex trafficker to meet with such a high-ranking Justice Department official, as one who used to be the president's top criminal defense attorney.
Wow.
If this meeting were just...
Wow. Isn't that crazy? The president's lawyer? The president's lawyer is now the deputy attorney general. And as the president's lawyer, now the deputy attorney general, he is the one in charge of listening to the testimony of Ghislane Maxwell. No conflict of interest here, folks. Nothing to see here. No, this is perfectly reliable. Whatever she says will certainly not absolve Donald Trump because they preordained it. It'll absolve Trump because it's the truth. It's simply the truth. It's simply the truth that Trump had no involvement whatsoever. And I guess basically what they will say, what I suspect Ghislane Maxwell will say is, given that there is extensive relationships that are obviously out and about, out in public between Trump and Jeffrey Epstein, the only way out of this that absolves Donald Trump is, I think, say that Trump stopped talking to Jeffrey Epstein in 2003 and then never had any contact whatsoever and hated Jeffrey Epstein or something. That's what I think is going to happen here. Like I think she's basically going to work actively to absolve Trump. And a part of that will be to, use the information that we do know and then say, see, Trump had no contact whatsoever with Jeffrey Epstein. I do not think that Ghislane is going to come out and be like, Trump was literally kids with Jeffrey Epstein. Like, there's just not going to happen, okay? I don't think that she is going to reveal any new information, and I think she is going to perjure herself again and again, but this time she has all of the opportunity to perjure herself. She has every opportunity to lie. She has an incentive to lie. She is probably going through the readily available information right now to figure out exactly how to lie so that it can't be contradicted by publicly available information. Do you understand? And now we know, according to Spectator Index, according to New York Post, not the most reliable, but she was given a document box yesterday, and today she has delivered 100 different people linked to Jeffrey Epstein, according to New York Post.
Just to find out, does she have any information on anyone else who potentially should be indicted? Well, you would think that the deputy attorney general would have other prosecutors there with him who actually tried the case. He doesn't. And that does lead to the question, is this a legal meeting or is this a political meeting?
Maxwell was convicted of enabling Epstein's abuse of women and girls.
Dude, like, there have been so many moments that the Republicans have been able to expertly weaponize because they were illicit and maybe borderline illegal. Okay? Do you remember when Bill Clinton did that private jet thing with, who was it? I think it was like the Attorney General Loretta Lynch. Do you remember when the Attorney General was meeting with Bill Clinton in late June, forced the FBI to distance itself from the Justice Department, the Bureau's director said. Like, that was crazy. That tarmac interaction that they had. Bill Clinton's in a private jet, Loretta Lynch is in a private jet, and they get out and they have like a 1-minute meeting on the tarmac. Okay? Which was absolutely inappropriate. And the Republicans used that into oblivion. They were like, oh, remember this? This is crazy. I can't believe Bill Clinton's doing this. And they had every right to do so, right? Because this was illicit. It was totally and utterly ridiculous. It was preposterous that they did that, okay? But what Donald Trump is doing right now by sending his own personal attorney to have closed-door private meetings as the deputy attorney general with a major criminal like Ghislane Maxwell is an incredibly large conflict of interest. It is so much more out and about. Like, it's out there. It's right there. It's open corruption. People are not even making a big fuss about it partially because it's Trump. And what are you going to do? It's just how he plays ball, right? But it's right there. As chatters have said already, they're dabbing on us, okay? They are dabbing on us. They're saying, F you, what are you going to do about it? They're flexing. This is, okay? Loretta Lynch is Attorney General having a private meeting with Bill Clinton while they're in the process of looking into Hillary Clinton's butter email scandals is ridiculous. But the Republicans were incredibly effective in playing politics and made this a major story at the time. They used it. Meanwhile, Donald Trump has been personally throwing himself out there every day looking like a insanely suspicious criminal directly affiliated with Jeffrey Epstein. And that's the only reason why we're talking about it. It's not because the Democrats are actively pushing for it. Okay? The only reason why we're talking about it is because Trump keeps floundering. He keeps trying to get out of this story, and he's doing a horrible job. That's the only reason why it hasn't been swept under the rug. Democrats barely are hanging on to the story and barely pushing it. Every Democrat should be screaming about this, to be like, what are we doing? Donald Trump's personal attorney? Donald Trump's personal attorney is now the deputy attorney general and is having a private meeting with Ghislane Maxwell after weeks of inconsistent statements coming from Donald Trump about the list was fake, but there is a list, but the list was made by Democrats. And now there is a list, but it wasn't made by the Democrats. Now that they suspiciously have, now that they're suspiciously talking to Ghislane Maxwell in closed door settings. What is happening? Chuck did mention it, to be fair. No, actually, as a matter of fact, I'm talking precisely about Chuck Schumer. Chuck Schumer yesterday tweeted out something, okay? And I think that's really funny that he tweeted this out, even though he didn't personally tweet it out. Someone else must have tweeted it out because Chuck Schumer famously does not have a smartphone. He's very proud of not having a smartphone, so obviously he's not the one tweeting shit out. Someone in his team is. And the tweet was something along the lines of like, it's completely unacceptable for the president to have a closed-door meeting with Ghislane Maxwell. Like, basically what I'm saying, right? What I was saying is like completely ridiculous. Does anyone have the Chuck Schumer tweet? Yeah. Hold on. Let me see if I can find it. I think was it on his personal account or was it on his private account? He does converse with the Baileys without a phone. Yes. Oh, yes. Here it is. Here, I found it. Under no circumstances should anyone from Trump's DOJ be allowed to privately interview Ghislane Maxwell. The conflict of interest is glaring. It stinks of high corruption. He tweeted this at 1:54 p.m. This was approximately 4 hours after they had done this. It had already happened at that point. Great stuff, man. Why does she even need to give names? I thought they had mountains of evidence already from thousands of hours of literal dollar transactions. They do. They do. There is a list compiled of people who are Jeffrey Epstein affiliates. It's out there. The very fact that they are they're talking to Ghislane Maxwell is because they don't want the actual list to be released. It's that simple. And Democrats and anyone else should not let that go. Okay? There's footage, there's names, there's a paper trail. There are thousands of wire transfers that connect Jeffrey Epstein through illicit financial dealings to numerous high-ranking officials, heads of state, heads of intelligence agencies, and of course, even the royal family, and also, politicians and the like. So Donald Trump doesn't want that list coming out. For now, the only way for you to get a crumb of information will be this heavily slanted Ghislane Maxwell testimony, even though Ghislane Maxwell herself has on numerous occasions lied about her involvement and lied about others' involvement even to protect other people like Prince Andrews.
Farmer, who testified against her at trial, questioned why Maxwell was granted a meeting with the Deputy Attorney General.
It's very disappointing that these things are happening behind closed doors without any input from the people that the government asked to come forward and speak against her in order to put her away. There were so many young girls and women that were harmed by her.
The meeting with Maxwell comes as the Justice Department tries to quiet calls from Senate Republicans to release more information about Epstein and his interaction with high-profile figures.
I want all the information out.
Just put everything out, make it as transparent as you can.
Release the damn files.
The Justice Department said earlier this month it planned to release no additional information, despite an earlier commitment to do so. The Wall Street Journal reports Attorney General Pam Bondi told President Trump in May his name was mentioned in the Epstein files multiple times, along with other high-profile people. Days before the article was published, Trump denied it.
Did she tell you at all that your name appeared in the file?
No, she's given us just a very quick briefing, and in terms of the credibility of the different things that they've seen.
Appearing in the files is not indicative of wrongdoing. The Journal reports Trump deferred to a decision by Bondi and Blanche to release nothing because the files also contain child and information about victims. Blanche said he is seeking to learn from Maxwell whether anyone else committed crimes against victims, saying he will share what he learns from her at the appropriate time.
We're waiting to find out what was asked, how she responded, and whether Ghislane Maxwell made a specific pitch for clemency. Rebecca?
A lot of open questions there, Aaron. Okay, thank you.
What are you hoping Todd Blanche gets out of his meetings with Ghislane Maxwell?
Well, I don't know about the meeting. I know it's taking place, and he's a fantastic man. He's a great attorney, and people should really focus on how well the country's doing, or they should focus on the fact that Barack Hussein Obama led a coup, or they should focus on the...
Yeah, why don't you focus on things I want you to focus on, which is focus on things I want you to focus on. Please, don't focus on this thing. Focus on others.
The fact that Larry Summers from Harvard, that Bill Clinton, who you know very well, and lots of other friends, really close friends of Jeffrey Summers, should be...
Oh, shit. I mean, he ain't wrong about this, by the way, for the record. He ain't wrong about this. But why didn't he say this from the jump? What was in there that he wanted to make sure would not be released? Was it his personal involvement? Was it the involvement of maybe a foreign state that he does not want being associated in this time?
Spoken about, because, Jeffrey Epstein should be spoken about, and they should speak about them, because they don't talk about them. They talk about me. I have nothing to do with the guy.
Are you considering clemency for Ghislane Maxwell? Are you considering will you do any business deals with the UK?
Yeah, I'm going to meet with the Prime Minister right now. We're going to be over there in about 6 hours. We're meeting with the Prime Minister tonight. We're going to be talking about the trade deal that we made and maybe even improve it.
Are you considering clemency for Ghislane Maxwell? Are you considering clemency for Ghislane Maxwell, sir?
I saw homeless people sleeping right outside the gates of the White House. Are you concerned about that?
I think it's terrible, and we'll have them removed immediately. We do remove it. We've got to get the mayor to run this city properly. This city has to be run. You know, I have the right to take it over, and I think it's terrible. Where are they? Where did you see them?
Right outside on Pennsylvania Avenue.
Near the Treasury.
Right across the Mafia Park near the Treasury. Have you heard about Todd Blanche's interview with Ghislane Maxwell?
Are you still disappointed in President
Pardon or clemency for Ghislane?
Well, I don't want to talk about that. What I do want to say is that Todd is a great attorney, but you ought to be speaking about Larry Summers. You ought to be speaking about some of...
Bro, he is... Oh, my God. Oh, my God. It's like, dude, please talk about what I want you to talk about. He's giving a few names, but not himself. Yeah. Notice how the few names that he's giving are also, you know, ideological perceived enemies of Donald Trump. Awfully suspicious.
His friends that are hedge fund guys, they're all over the place. You ought to be speaking about Bill Clinton, who went to the island 28 times. I never went to the island.
Do you maintain you did not write a letter for Jeffrey Epstein's birthday?
I don't even know what they're talking about. Now, somebody could...
Oh, yeah, totally. He doesn't know. He didn't do it. Yeah, I don't even know how to write or read. I am illiterate. Folks, believe me, I'm stupid and illiterate. Don't believe the lies. People say I draw. I've never written a draw. I never wrote a draw. I do not know how to write draw. It was the Otto pen. It must have been the Otto pen.
I could have written a letter and used my name, but that's happened a lot. All you have to do is take a look at the dossier, the fake dossier. Everything's fake with that administration. Everything's fake with the Democrats. Take a look at what they just found about the dossier. Everything is fake. They're a bunch of sick people. Where did you see the people laying outside? Exactly?
Right across the street from Lafayette Park, sir, towards 15.
We'll take care of it.
Why are the journalists like, here are all of the homeless people that you would like, if you would like to kill them, there are homeless people here. Just go and, you know, sick your forces on them.
Are you hoping to meet with President Putin for bringing hostages home? What are the alternative methods to bring hostages home?
Well, we got a lot of them out, and it's I've always said those last 10 or 20 are going to be the toughest, because Hamas knows what happens when they don't have any bargaining chips, and they really broke a deal. They broke a deal, and you're going to have to do what you have to do right now. It's a terrible thing.
What about on
and I always knew that. I said, when you get down to the last one, they're not going to be able to make a deal.
Would you consider a pardon or a commutation for Ghislane Maxwell if
it's something I haven't thought about. It's really something. It's something I'm allowed to do it, but it's something I have not thought about.
But you wouldn't rule it out.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.